Hi, I claim that the feeling of belonging, that we belong somewhere, is the highest need of being human. So in today's episode, we will talk about this. Welcome to today's episode. It is interesting to think what belonging means, because in a way, where we are at this moment, so time-wise or location-wise, we belong there. But where we get this feeling that if we don't belong, like even though we belong here, we might have the feeling of not belonging. We might feel weird or that the place doesn't feel like a home. So what it actually means to feel belonged, I would say that feeling belonged means kind of mutual feeling between the people about the connection as ourselves. So we feel that we can freely be ourselves, and then we have this mutual feeling of the connection existing. And I would say that although sometimes the location doesn't feel homey, but one of the most important factors when it comes to the location is actually the people there. So who you are surrounded have a huge impact how you feel that you are belonged in that environment too. But yes, I would say the feeling of belonging comes from the mutual feeling of connection as ourselves. And I would say that belonging drives us quite a lot because we want to feel belonged. We are ready to try, for example, new trending things. Anything can be trending. It can be protocols, like health-related protocols. It can be working habits. It can be eating, exercise, clothing, supplements. Anything you can imagine can be trending. So something becomes popular and then suddenly everyone are just like trying the same thing. And sometimes we even try things which we already know it will not be for us. Just the sake of feeling the belonging, which can also come from the, if you try something, you're able to talk about it. So then you might have even partial feeling of belonging, which actually takes us to the levels of belonging. It starts from the individual opinion level and goes all the way to the peer pressure. So in this individual opinion level, I mean a situation where you have a group of people you spend a lot of time with, and then there are individual peoples with their opinions. As an example, there might be opinion that using less phone in the evening time is good for your sleep. This level means that there are opinions and topics brought up which has an influence, so you may try those just to feel that you have something in common, something to talk about, something to share. And when we move from that level, there are many options in between, but all the way to the opposite level, so the peer pressure, we will talk about soon that there are different perspectives when it comes to the peer pressure. But it can, for example, be that in that group, everyone are believing so hard this, that screen time is bad in the evening. And the pressure is so huge that it influences to you without giving any space for your own thinking. But as I used this example that screen time is not maybe that good in the evening time, you can imagine that peer pressure can also be good. So peer pressure can kind of make you to make the changes to your own behavior or thinking. And the result can be really, really good, but it has the other side too. So there might be a belief system that it's better to work 10 to 12 hours per day and not have any free time, like 7 days per week. And if the pressure is high, if that's kind of the believed thing that this is the only way to do things, it can be also harmful. So yes, it is good to recognize the levels which are existing. And the reason why I think this is important topic, when we consider the body attitude, we are affected by people we are surrounded by. They have opinions, thoughts, habits, which influences to us. So being aware that we have this urgent need of belonging is super important, because sometimes we might make choices that doesn't support us as an individual human being. And as mentioned, sometimes you can even use that peer pressure. So be aware that there are these attitudes all around us, from clothing to supplements to eating to exercise to everything. And when you notice this, do some reflection. How much this affects to me, here meaning to you. So how much it affects and how it affects. Is it good? Is it something you want? Is it taking you to good direction? Do you want to change the attitude, or do you want to change with it? And what is the level of the attitude existing? Because if it's just an individual level, it might not affect that hugely to your own behavior or thinking. And that's really true. You are able to also influence to the existing attitude with your own attitude. So you can show the way and be the leader. So it's important to think, how important is this attitude to you? Do you want to change it within you or within the group? How much work it needs? Are you ready to make the change? Or are you okay with many opinions and many ways of working with similar topic? And do you still feel belonged if you have completely opposite way of thinking and behaving? In my opinion, it's actually really nice to have a different ways of thinking and living and behaving around me. So I'm exposed to different opinions. New things are allowed to become to my awareness. But if certain things, if I would have several, let's say like 3 topics which are super important in my life. For example, what comes to using your free time, taking care of your health, and let's say working habits. I picked just 3 random things which are actually really important to me. And if all those 3 would be completely different from the opinions around me, and none of those people who I'm spending most of my time with wouldn't think anything similar about those 3 topics, I would say that's not too good either, because that would make me to feel that I'm not belonged and question myself that am I really thinking in a good way? Even though deep inside me I know that these topics I'm really aware how I wish them to be. So I'm saying it's good to have different opinions around you, but it's also good to have people who maybe share similar way of thinking and behaving and living. So, similar body attitude. Yes, in this episode, I just wanted to bring this really important topic up, to become aware how our body attitude is influenced by the feeling of belonging, which is the highest need of being human. I hope you got something new to think about, and see you on next time. Bye.